Nelson too. Very fiery young man.
Sabadale, the Saba boys, Franco de Diai, Madui, Sazito, I sell, Chiadu, DJ Square Production Classic, Day, about that January by trail, about that January by trail, all of that January by trail, Azuko Made Ade, Azuko Made, Azuko Made, Azuko Momaya Bio, Momaya Bia, where you do, Momaya Bia, where you do, Boy Muabia, where you play, Azuko, where you will, Diapamware, where you will, Adiwe, where you sababo, Be that anywhere, where you sababo, Amande, Amesoba, Azuko Made Ade, Azuko Made Ade, so, Sanzito, Ojiwawa. Sanzito, you are the Amu, I don't get it to be a Palu, so am I. Sanzito, you are a Sababo, so I did a get passion, get the good song. I saw him back. Kiapaman, I'm on way there. He gets on into Amodeo. He gets on into Amodeo. Amade moye monanu, Amade moye monanu. Azuko Made Ade, ki apame no se si on bon. Mama ablio, ablio, mama ablio. Mama ablisiano moye blea. Azuko Made Ade.
Nelson too. Very fiery young man.
Azuko Made Ade. Azuko, mama to play, away Sababo. Mama to play, away Sababo. Azuko, Made Ade, Banu Loyon Deck, Sazito, no Loyon Deck, Efanzo, so one Loyon Deck. So, I get my way. Natano play, does every play? No one will want that. I say, my ma, I'm going to go. It's something to okay. Snap on my son again. Then my son will buy it on now. Yeah, thank you. I so go, my day at that. Manu Loyon Deck, something to no Loyon Deck. All I play where you're waiting. All I play where you're waiting. Azuko Ojiwe, Engine the boys, a Jaboji. All I know, Patati, and wait to ya. Ablion, Ojiwe, Olum Loyon Deck, Sazito, Olum Loyon Deck, all I play where you're waiting. Oh, my Ablio, oh, my Tobio, Ablio, oh, my Tobio. De Tobica, de Sanzizo, de los Sanzizo, Sanzito, on Loyon Deck. Pour la player, where you're waiting, qui a pas mis dans ces si on bon. By your way, Panu yonder where you will, Panu yonder where you will. Oh, my day at that. My beer, where you're monanuzo. Oh, my day. I don't like the way I would away. I don't like the way I would away.
Good morning, folks. Samson to Liberal Public Radio. We're here again this morning. Tonight, this evening, this morning, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, we say welcome, welcome, welcome. Please share this video to as many brothers and sisters as much as possible. We will continue to discuss the progressive of Liberia. And those of us that have the knowledge, little knowledge of the progressive involvement in Liberia, we will speak out. We will continue to talk about it. So we started this thing now, which is about third week, and we ask you to continue to follow us. We thank you very much. Thank you very much to continue to follow. We'll do our best. We do not have all of the facts. We are not a historian. I'm a civil engineer by profession. I've been doing that for a very long time. So if I'm talking history, yeah, you can challenge me. I will shut my mouth because I'm not. I know more about history, except Matela Nipo find a cannon from her point. I know that one little bit. I also know that the people, Basa people sold the land for small fish, and you know that the history I know. But we'll do our best, folks. Again, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate all of you. Uh, we are getting the news that our older brother is under the weather, and we pray. I'm not going to call his name. We pray that he will be fine. We pray for him, and that God will continue to guide him and keep him safe as well. So we want to thank all of you again. Please just share this video to as many people as possible so that our brothers and sisters will follow us. Now, safety, safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this morning for bringing us here. We thank you for waking us up this morning. My Lord, that's the power you have, and that's the power we respect, and that's the power we have faith in. We have faith that every morning you will wake us up. My Lord, we pray that every morning you continue to wake us up. We thank you for that. We thank you for that. My Lord, we're here again this morning to discuss all things Liberia. And most of our subject matter are very sensitive. Most of our subject matter are sometimes personal. We ask you, my Lord, to guide our thoughts. What comes out of our mouth should not be based on envy, based on jealousy, but based on facts. My Lord, help us, guide us through this process this morning as we're going to be discussing some sensitive issue for our brothers and sisters about our land. We ask that you continue to guide us, bless us. In Jesus' name, in fact, we say, bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. I left that one out, but I can't leave it out because of them we're here. Thank you for joining me this morning, folks. I will be reading from Mr. Nyanun book, William Nyanun book. And if you haven't gotten it, please go to Amazon. It's called Mitigating the Legacy of a Misguided Vision, the Case of Liberia. William Nyanun. This is, I don't know if you can see the colors here. The light shining so much on it. Okay, maybe if I do that, but yeah, you can see. I will take the picture of this thing and put it up someday. But look it up, Mr. Yano. He wrote a beautiful, beautiful book. So today we will go into the governing process of the Americo-Liberian. Okay, and these are brothers and sisters that came from America based on freedom they had. They were slaves here in the United States, and they were free, and they went back to Africa, and they landed in Liberia, and the rest is history. You know the rest. But we're going to the Tubman era, because that is the era that really defined the present day Liberia, to be honest with you. But before that, there were those who, the founding father of Liberia, the likes of James Monroe, the likes of E.J. Rohr, they were insisting. They knew from day one that they had problems on their hands. They knew from day one that they have some serious problems on their hands. Mr. Double, thank you very much. I'm not waking you up this morning from Louisville. Thank you for joining us. But the founding father, the Americo-Liberians knew they had problems on their hand. How do they integrate the indigenous to their way of life that they know? Remember now, they're free slaves. And some of them was able to educate themselves while they were here in the United States. And the Christianity business was so much ingrained in there. And they truly believe, which I also believe, it was because of God's guidance, they were able to find a safe place in Africa called Liberia. However, the leaders, the founding fathers themselves, What do we do with these people? These people culture does not fit well with our culture. What do we do? They are not Christian. We're Christian. They are not civilized. We're civilized. And the leader himself decided to say, look, the best way to do this, since we're not going anywhere, and the indigenous, they're not going to go anywhere. Let's merge everybody together, study together, civilize them, give them Christianity, believe, make them to believe the Christian business, and we will do well. We cannot leave them back. And let me go on. Listen to this. E.J. Ross speaking. The Aboriginal are our brethren, and that's from William book, by the way, and should be entwined with our function. Surely, we are here to take our native brethren by the hand and teach them how to live until there shall grow up this continent Negro community, prosperous, educated, civilized, Christian, whose voice shall be heard and respected in Europe, Asia, and America. So he's saying, from my perspective, these people, they are in majority. Bring them on board, and if we speak with one voice, people from all over the world will respect us. Let's move on to another one. Okay, this is all from Mr. Nyanu book, and we will be going into Mr. Kaireb's own book as well. So let's listen to uh, Gibson, G.W. Gibson. He said in his uh, 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 1927 Freedom Forefront Independent Day orator. He says, speaking as I am to my fellow citizen from 18 something to 1927, so you know this thing was going on an occasion that justify national pride and honors this country. I want to say that we have not labored with that sovereignty and severity and zealousness with dependent of us in the term in which we live. In making this assertion, I do so with no intention to reflect upon the labor of the past or to blame anyone for our national shortcoming. Our national shortcoming, he said. To do so would not achieve any aim. So G.W. Gibson recognized that all along, before he was born, that people were talking, bring these people on board. And he said, we have not done so. We have not done so. We failed. Okay, let's listen. In 1850, President Joseph Jenkins River, okay, reminded the Liberian legislature in 1850, he said, gentlemen, these people sustain a particular relation to us and must be civilized and work in and the work is ours. They are not only of the same nature and of one blood with ourselves, but they are our brethren, our fellow citizens, and of the same race, and must be raised to the condition to partake with us in all blessing we enjoy, to participate with us in all the affair of the government, and to be in all respect on an equal footing with other citizens of the republic. I will stop with William Nyanu book. William Nyanu wrote a wonderful book. If you have time, please go on Amazon. It's called Mitigating the Legacy of Misguided Vision, the Cost of Liberia. And William Nyanu did a wonderful masterpiece in this book where he brought in other other ideas, other writers, example for other people. It's wonderful. If you have time, go and read it. But let's go on. So, as I stated, we will go into President Tubman era because many of us were born during President Tubman era. Those of you that were born on Tower era, or Doe era, or Charles Taylor era, or Ma Eli era, or Jawia era, or even President Baka era, Leo Unwego. No, on a very serious note, we will go because the reason why I'm not going all the way back. Not that we don't have the history, we have papers here, we can read, but I want to go into the Tubman era because that is the era many of us get to understand what the American Liberian were doing to us, the indigenous. It was unfair, it was uncalled for, and they should have known better. And that's why I'm going to go into that. So I told you already, Mark Collins, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Stephen, thank you for joining us as well. All we ask of you guys is to please share this video, share this show as much as possible. So last week I was telling you in 1950 51 election, where Tubman was seeking re-election, but he was being opposed by independent two-way party, they call themselves. Okay, so the independent two-way party opposed, no, not independent two-way party, was being opposed by another group of led by Charles D.B. King, who personally handpicked Tubman to succeed him, but because Tubman came in with open door policy, Tubman wanted to open the interior, the indigenous, trying to bring them on board, but little by small. That I'm bring everybody know he says small. They're not going all the way. They're not bringing them by spoon, bringing them by stick, 2, 3 on a piece of stick, bring them into our society. They said, but the people were against it. Okay, so it said they shall be entitled. I told you what it was. Shall be entitled to vote under the provision of the law relating to registration of voters and election, Section 12 of revised status. These provisions represent an improvement over the basic law and appear to burden the foundation of the rule. Okay, their effectiveness in extension of franchise is rather insignificant considered in relation to the commercial possession of land and the fact that few, if any, Aboriginal, listen to this, they made a law. They say in order to vote in Liberia those days, you got to be 21. And not only you got to be 21, but you got to own land. And this is what this guy is saying here. He said, relation to the commercial possession of land and the fact that few, if any, Aboriginal had not integrated himself with the Americo-Liberian, had land in fee simple. Considering the commercial possession of land and the fact that Americo-Liberian were estimated at 200,000, that was their population. 20,000, not 200, please. 20,000. That was their population at the time. But they got 20,000. But guess how much Tubman going to vote? When Tubman ready, he got over a million vote. They're only 200,000. Tubman must be. And assimilated Aboriginal were even less. It appears highly improbable, therefore, that the 248,471 vote cast in the general election of 1943. There are 20,000. But Tubman got 248,471 votes. Where it come from? Some people will go into it. The president, in President Tubman annual message of November 1st, 1944, he recommended a constitutional amendment providing for the tribesmen of the provision to be represented in the legislature, which during the 1950-51 section election were extended to the county and territories. So Tubman look at it. You know, you can't go all over. And Tubman was a leader in trying to pin out of Africanism. Tubman was a leader, and you can't go preach about other African country to be free, where your own people in your house they're not free. So Tubman trying to now exercise that, trying to minimize that. So in 1950-51 section election, they brought in the territory and the counties to be part of it. Okay. After regular election in the republic was promulgated, the Liberian Constitution and this enactment grant the right of service to all citizens of 21 years of age and over who own real estate in fee simple or own a hut in case of hinterland. I will show you the hut, no round, you from the countryside, you know what I mean by hut. So round building, they got it thing that hut. They say when you own one, you're allowed to vote. But to own one of those things, according to my own culture from Totan, to own a hut those days, you have to be married, number one. And in order for them to consider you married citizen of the quarter, because they divide the town itself. The town is divided into quarter, and I think I explained that some time ago in one of my videos. The town is divided into quarter. For example, in Totan, you got Totan, the entire town. We got Sandy, we got Nyayo. Well, Nyayo is everyone else. We got Sandy, we got Keya, okay, we got Basaidi, we have Todi, we have Keyavnu, we have a few other. I don't remember much of them anymore. I've been out of that place so long. They don't even consider me total man anyway. But you have these different quarters, and what they did was very interesting. Even when up to now, when I go home, the flower tree that I sit on is in my quarter. So, but those days, what they did, all of the brothers, they have a place. They carry one farm. Everybody make farm in that area. And this is why the issue of land business in Liberia that will create problems. Because 50 years ago, they have these people that live in total quarter. They go places as a group in a quarter. When they one quarter man go to the place and make farm, and the farm is yielding good, everybody from that quarter go there. The brothers, the cousins, they all go there and carry farm outside. So you can't leave from Keyavnu farm way over there in almost in Chiga. Then you can't take land right here in Chloe, which is the toll, the Sian, the store C, Sian K, they own our area. Then you say you want to claim it. You think we yet to say, yeah, we're not going to do it. But anyway, let me go ahead. So in order to own a hut those days, right, you have to establish yourself as a person, a responsible person who able to be married and be able to maintain a family. Then you can build a hut. But Totman say if you own one, you can vote. Maintain a rose voting nomination candidate and what have you, blah, blah, blah. A significant aspect of the election in May 1st, 1951 was the fact that it marked the first time in history of the Republic that women exercised 1951. 1951, since 18 something, 1951. That's when the women started voting. They allow women to vote a long time ago, but 1951 it was the first time that women really went up. Was the fact that it marked the first time in history of the Republic of Liberia that women exercised their French tie in accordance with the new law. It was also the first time Aboriginal participation in the election of president. The unofficial tabulation of the election return indicate that 155,792 votes were cast in the general election on May 1st, 1951. For William V.S. Tubman and his running mate William Tauber on May 10, 1951, the two-way party had its victory celebration approximately 4,000 representatives from all sections of the country participated in a rather impressive parade through the street of Monrovia, displaying personages of bright color, banner upon which were recorded the election return. The return indicate that between 75 and 80% of the potential voter in the various political subdivision actually voted for Tubman, they said. It is significant in this connection that the number of persons voted who did not comply with the voting prerequisite with respect to age or property, the lack of opposition candidate preclude an accurate appraisal of the return as compared with previous election. Okay. So that's 1951 election, folks. Where Tubman, they know they have only 20,000 population, but they were getting 200 and some more thousand. So let's go to 1955 election. The 1955 election, the reason why I'm going back all of these is because that will give us a landing point when we come to Tubman era, where the progressive really came of age. And we will go, but by that time I have just photo upon photo of that era. But I'm telling you what was happening in Tubman era. Okay, so let's go ahead. Tubman era now, 1955 election. Okay, and this election pricked the interest of the United States of America, and they taxed the CIA to document some of the things that was happening and what is in it for their interest. You know, United States always seek their interest now. They are coming to come and say, oh, the men from Total. No, that's not what they do. They're seeking their interest. So they taxed the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency office, to document what was happening in Liberia with respect to May 1955 election. Okay, so CIA started documenting, and I will read that to you here. Office to be filled, presidency and vice presidency for a 4-year term. Party or faction participation. Two-way party. The party of the ruling oligarchy. They don't call them party oligarchy. And if you've been with the oligarchy business, you know what it means. It means, for me, my own definition, it means crook. Oligarchy means crook. People steal people's money and use it for themselves with no law to hold them responsible. That's, to me, that's oligarchy. And I'm on a total way of saying it. Okay, so oligarchy of Americo-Liberian, a minority group of dissidents of American slaves returned to Liberia. Minority group of dissidents. It has maintained itself in power since 1877 by tight control, the CIA reported, by tight control of its small group and by restriction of the full participation of the numerically superior indigenous tribe. Let me read that again if you didn't get it. That's the Americo-Liberian. It has maintained itself in power since 1847, CIA report, by tight control of its own small group and by restriction of the full participation of the numerically superior indigenous tribe. The party orientation is determined by President Tubman. The present standard bearer, he is working for the rapid economic, educational, and social development of the country, for the assimilation of the native people into the political and social affair of the country since 1847, since 1877. Okay, and for the increased importance of Liberia in African international affairs. So when Tubman was doing all of these things, he said, "My people, we can't go on like this here. We have to get people to know that this is not something that we're just going to do. We can't go outside of Liberia. We expect people, the international community, to respect us when we speak. But yesterday, in our own backyard, yeah, we're treating people like slaves. Independent Two-Way Party. Those are the people that were opposing the Totman election. An opposition group of able but disgruntled Americo-Liberian, former member of the Two-Way Party. They have some support among the tribe people. The group's primary aim appeared to be to unseat Totman rather than to differ in basic policy. The independents charged the Totman administration with misadministration, dictatorial rule, just like me, dictatorial rule, inefficiency, escalation, and corruption. Wow. Totman era, you say corruption? So the corruption business, they're not just not business. Ah, so when they were having election 1955, you were just being born still. What? What kind of business is it? So you don't know anything about. You didn't vote for 1960. I voted in 19. Our 50 years old. I voted in 1955 election. Listen to Stevie. He said when they were doing all that tabata voting, I was being born. I don't know anything about you, but don't hold me. Okay, Stevie will let you slide. Yeah? So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. They are critical of Totman policy administration assimilation. They are critical of Totman's policy of assimilation of the tribe people. You see that? That's how wicked they are. They want Totman out. They're asking for indigenous support, but they don't want policy that will bring the indigenous people into their mix. And they make us to vote against our own interests, my people. They're very smart too, very intelligent, but of course they're educated anyway, so they know how to do it. They also charge that Totman is selling out the country to foreign interests. Ah, Liberia will not be spectator in your own country. They're not job we are say, oh, they think are way by. They're not job we are who started the thing. They also charge that Totman is selling out the country to foreign interests by his open door policy for foreign investment. Let's go ahead. Outstanding personality. President William V.S. Totman, at that time he was 60 years old, leader of the Two-Way Party and president since 1943. He and Vice President William Tubber are seeking a third term. Totman is a pro-American. Edwin Barclay, 72, the presidential candidate of the Independent Two-Way Party, was president from 1931 to 1943. He handpicked Totman as his successor, but his better criticizing in recent years. Barclay is a decided nationalist and though pro-American, has also been associated with the viewpoint that Liberia should never exercise extreme caution in granting concession to foreigners. So the concession business, they put to mountain all that kind of that just not business. People have been fighting it. But this is what they on a very serious note. And I'm not going to put politics in it, but on a very serious note. A country that refused to build middle class, You will always fight over these things because there are those who live and die by the concession process. The concession comes in, they extract money from the investor for themselves. I will talk for you. They do the same. They got lobby, but Liberia is worse. Liberia is worse. If the investor coming in with say $10, Liberian lobby group, and they are not lobby just work. They're not working as lobby. Some of them representatives, some of them senator, some of them even working in the office of the president. Not a particular administration. I'm just saying it. Allegedly. Let me put that on there. So they want 50% of the investment. So the investor bring $10, they want $5 for themselves. That is the difference between the lobby system here in the United States, because you when you make those kinds of lab, you have to report it. Like brother, they don't even report it. They're all on a table. Let's move on. Okay. No opposition vice president has been selected. Important personality among the independent are S. David Coleman. If you remember David Coleman, I believe this is the same David Coleman that was killed by Seitore. And Seitore is from Grand Gillette County. It's in the army. There was a conflict between the Tubman administration and a certain group, including Coleman, where Coleman's son and he himself was killed. I'm not too sure if they've seen David Coleman, and we'll look into it. Okay, but I'm just putting that out there. Okay. David Coleman, former Secretary of the Interior, Nice Brownell. That's the reason why these people. If you were among the Congo people, even if you're not a Congo man, if you're among the Congo people, like some of us, you know, when they're having conversation, oh, they're passing my part, they're passing part of my part, they're not used to talk. These are some of the things. Okay. Former Attorney General Honor Barkley, died 12, Crew tribe leader, currently in voluntary exile. Okay. So go and read it, and you'll find some interesting thing in it. Let's move on. So one of the most interesting thing here is during the Tubman era, right? There was an incident that happened that is of historical facts, which I'm going to be discussing here today, not in detail, but just a little bit. Historical facts. So back in 1968, around that time, 67, 68. Okay, and let me just say this here. Let me start the process. Shortly after William V.S. Tubman was inaugurated as president of Liberia on January 24, 1968, beginning his sixth consecutive four-year term, the Liberian Foreign Service had become its custom, gave a reception in his honor. Speaking at that function, the president praised the Liberian ambassadors, saying that with one exception, they have had rendered great service to the country. The exception, noted President Tubman, was an ambassador who had interfered in the domestic affair of a nation to which he was accredited, and who have even employed a member of that country opposition party in the Liberian embassy. Declaring this to be a violation of the Foreign Service Code, the president hinted that the ambassador whose name he had not reviewed would soon be dismissed for misconduct, adding, any ambassador who participates in this policy, policies of a nation, politics of a nation to which he is designated is not fit to represent Liberia. So this is the background, 1968. And this is one of the things Tubman was very good at. If you are not in support of his ideas and what have you, he's not gonna keep you around. And what he did also was the few indigenous, highly educated indigenous that was forced, because the person educated, you got to get him in your government, was forced to bring into the government, was being perished by Tubman. He didn't want them closer. He wanted, because he felt within himself, if he brought everybody on like that, it's going to affect them. Remember now, they're only 20,000 in number. They're not plenty. But let me go on. The president comments caused much uneasiness among the assembled diplomats, State Department personnel, and Liberian envoy home for the inauguration. It seemed inconceivable that any Liberian ambassador could have been guilty of such gross breach of diplomatic prosperity. Okay, without this fact being known, at least within the Foreign Service, a probable even becoming the subject of open comment in the press. Indeed, this was not a long in coming. Who is that diplomatic ambassador? Asked the Liberian Age, that's the newspaper of those days. One of the country's three major newspaper, Monroe was alive with rumors. They were calling people names. That person no, that other person no. Hey, the Roman business, that not just not business. No. They lie, Roman business, that not just not business. They start long time. The answer was soon forthcoming. The alleged culprit was Henry Formula, Liberia ambassador to Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. Mr. Formula is a lawyer, a decent, a descendant of warrior. Listen to this, so this is how they describe it. Mr. Formula is a lawyer, a descendant of a warrior chief of Vi, from Vi man, one of Liberia. Give me a minute. One of Liberia principal tribe, and among these Aborigines who have succeeded in reaching high public office in a society whose political and economic life is largely dominated by the Americo-Liberians. The descendant of American slaves who were repatriated to Africa in the early part of the 19th century, of Liberia population of 1.9 million, the Americo-Liberian number about 30,000. Hey, but they rule everything. Iron faced. They get chikisu. The chikisu business that I'm open alone, brother. Chikisu business. They get chikisu those days. Tell me all you gotta do is go to the countryside, call the balance sheet, get chikisu, get tobacco, big cigar, then they're done. Mr. Formula, who had returned to Monroe for the inauguration, was arrested at his home on February 13th and charged with sedition. This is Stutner era. And the reason I'm making this here, it's not a central conversation, but the reason why I'm making this part of the conversation this morning is so you will see how these people behave. And they got names here. They got names here. Those days, if you were native and and that's why I always say here on this show, on my own show, that Liberian, the educational system, those are considered to be the most educated Liberian. That they vie, the Cape Mount County people, they're highly educated, as far as I'm concerned, my belief. The next to that is the Lofa County, Loma people, the Lofa County, they respect both business. Next to that is the people from Nima County. Then we the whip will fall way behind. But that's how it goes. Okay. At a press conference on the same day, President Tubman stated that Mr. Formula had been arrested not only because of his misconduct in Kenya, but for his act committed in Liberia as well. According to him, Mr. Formula had been carrying an act of sedition, which amount to treason. Facts against Formula are hair raising. read the day headline in the Liberian Age, the Liberian newspaper now. The indictment. Listen to this. The grand jury of Montserrat County indicted Ambassador Formula on March 7. The 12 count document charge in sum that the defendant between 19 date of January 1967 and the 25th date of January 1966 on several other days, the exact dates being unknown to the grand jury, while in the employment of the government of Liberia, served in the capacity of ambassador extraordinary and envoy plenary accredited to Kenya and other East African states and government in willful disregard of his allegiance and fidelity to his government, being the public of his government being the Republic of Liberia, distressingly plan, conspire, contrive, and combine with other disloyal person, disloyalty, my people, disloyalty in the Republic of Liberia, not based on merit, disloyalty. Okay, disloyal person, both Liberians and foreigners, with the intent to unlawfully and forcibly receive power and control over the government of Liberia. And in so doing, to overthrow this constituted government and authority. The accused was alleged, moreover, to be the leader and promoter of an underground movement whose vow aim was to overthrow the government. This is how Tubman was ruling Liberia, by inciting fear. He said, look, who coming to do whatever they want to do to you, but I'm here as your guardian. You cannot throw me away. Without me, the people will succeed and they will damage their country. That's how he was able to rule for all those years. For all those years. And there were few people in his government that he made sure they have their share of the corrupt behavior. But that's Tubman era. But let's go on. The term Aborigine is commonly used by Americo-Liberians to designate any person from one of the indigenous ethnic groups. Many educated Liberians now consider the term pejorative. Liberian Age, February 16, 1968. Court charged to the jury, Republic of Liberia versus MRB Formula, in the Law Division of First Judiciary Circuit Court, Monrovia, Liberia, May 3, AD 1968, Montserrat County, Republic of Liberia. Typescript of court record. The document purported to have been written by Mr. Formula was cited in the indictment. The first of these was a carbon copy of an anonymous letter dated January. Look at this, anonymous letter. That Liberia, you think they lie, that putting people in trouble, killing people, bringing war in Liberia. You think that just now it started? This is how we Liberians are bred to believe. We believe we function solely, especially our leadership functions solely on rumors and lies. We don't. Most of us, and it's not just this day and age, but back then, most Liberians don't care to ask for evidence. Most Liberians don't care to say where that information coming from. They just want the information come out, is spread like wildfire. Whether it's true or not, no. Whether our leaders themselves are big liars or not, we don't care. That's how we've been operating. So why we want to surprise? Why would we be surprised now if that kinds of behavior still exists today? But let's go on. Let's go on. The first of these was a carbon copy of a normal letter dated January 6, 1968, to the Israeli embassy, which described the Liberian government as a fruitful factual regime, Americo-Liberian rule state, prosecuting Aborigine to object self-done honor our cow dung unification policy. Woo! But here's the thing, Tubman have also. Tubman have the problem with this. They are university students who believe that the way you were governing was not right. They call your open door policy cow down policy. Okay, let's move on and talk about that. Happy with all when you saw that. The Liberian government was also accused in this letter of having entered into a secret pact with the United States government for repatriating 50,000 American Negroes called Black Muslims to increase the nearly extinct Americo-Liberian. The second document was another copy of this letter sent to the United States Ambassador in Liberia, Mr. Ben Hill. Okay, but this part of the letter that said the Liberian government was, what did they do? They brought in citizens from Barbados to be to boost their citizenry, the American-Liberian. They brought in Barbados, people from Barbados. They brought them into Liberia, and this is not secret. You got some Barbados people in Liberia calling themselves Liberian citizens. Their background, their forefather, they're from Barbados, from the island. So it's not too fast. Okay, so let's move on. The third document, however, was by far the most important for on its validity. The state charge would depend. This was a secret memorandum allegedly written by Mr. Formula, outlining a plan to organize an underground movement for educating the sons of the soil, of the exploitation being skillfully practiced against them by the chief of state through the scheme open door policy. This secret memorandum, it was clean, provided for by the introduction of the last 10 communist China experts into Liberia to start the underground movement, as well as a plan for finding jobs in the country for several other foreigners or proposed listed sympathizers who will promote the movement. So when they were in power, one of the things when things start getting hard on you, run to America. All the people then they want to go to Russia. Then you get favor for that. It start with those then. Listen to Tubman here, people. These people, they are not good for our country. They want to bring in this company. Remember now, North Korea have already had a war. The Vietnam War was not easy. Communists, American were frightened by communist China and communist Russia. So Tubman then used that opportunity to incite the American to get them involved. Look at the people. These are the kind of people bringing Chinese in here to teach. Okay? And the person who doing that is this guy, Formula, who is not even part of us. That fireman, he's not part of us. He's not part of the Americo-Liberian, but we're getting the opportunity. And there's a statement here about GAP about that. We gave you a job. You're not appreciative. We the true owner of Liberia. We gave you a job. You appreciate us. GAP statement in here. Let me go on. Let me read it, and then I'll go on to give you some more stuff. Mr. Famila Fowler allegedly planned to visit Conakry to confirm with Nkrumah Nkrumah, former president of Ghana, now living in exile in Guinea capital. He was also charged, one, with having written a book, Liberia within Independent Africa, which criticized the Americo-Liberian domination of the country. What part of it that is lie? We do that still. When you criticize a government, even if it is true, but the fact that it's a criticism, people take it somewhere else and start causing costs on you. Which criticize the American government. Two, with being the author of a poem of an exciting nature entitled A Waking Captain. Three, with turning over the keys of Liberian embassy to one Dr. Yosu Eli Ajita, an East Indian geologist and a personal friend of his but unconnected with the embassy. Liberia age, March 8, 1968. The open door policy stipulates that the Liberian government hastily welcome foreign investor into the country without any discrimination or hampering restriction. Owner of foreign development project as a show of the right to bring in the capital and represent profit, dividend, and other earning without interfering or impeding to the conversation. Exercise taxation, or other obstruction. So they're saying the open door policy, you come, you give our share, we'll not tax you. You do whatever you want to do. We're still doing it. We're still doing it. Go look at Grand Gila County map. Go look at our land. But the people were in for a big surprise. In a year or so, the cocoa business gonna cease. The European Union are trying to take themselves from the cocoa business. So you only have few countries that will still be going into the cocoa business. All that land you're destroying, cocoa will be going out of business. You'll continue. That one that power, tell that one Monday. 4, with making the embassy mail available to Dr. T.R., a collaborator of Nkrumah, so that these two, you see, Totman then said, yeah, but that's what we are. He used to be friend with Kwame Nkrumah. Totman. He used to be friend with him. But because he overthrew him, now he call him dissident now. We do the same thing. You can get a lot of friends right now. As soon as you get in trouble, you saw what happened to what is Spoon? You got so many friends. Paying people way to go to Liberia. Sponsoring them, paying their hotel. As soon as you got in trouble, everybody, hey, we don't want to be by the way you. Who are we? What kind of people are we? The man used to be your friend. So when he gets in trouble, that's why he really needs people the most. But then you push yourself away. That's what we do. Look at this kinds of stuff. There's a history. Totman and Nkrumah, then they all used to work together. But as soon as they overthrow, hey, we don't want to be out of the way. That's the same behavior we all have. You right now you say you got friends in the government, you on your own. As soon as you get in trouble, people will not even want to talk to you. And besides that, election time, you see them, Mr. Toe, Mr. Toe, yeah, LPR. As soon as they won the election, they don't even call us again. That's who we are. Deceitful people. Unserious people. They're not just a business. Start way back in Totman time. Let's go on, man. I don't want to get myself into politics at this moment. Let's move on. With planning to place agent in Monrovia, three major broadcasting stations. You see this? You see this? The people, yeah, Liberia. When they overthrew, when Ghanaian President Nkrumah were overthrown, they used radio station. So Tottenham is now bringing fear, putting fear in Liberian. He said, listen to this. Listen to this. With planning to place agents in Monrovia, three major broadcasting stations to facilitate the overtaking, and that's exactly what happened in 1980. Tottenham then they were seeing their shadow. 1980 radio station were gone. Takeover of the government. Under Liberian law, a person is guilty of treason. Who? Now let's those the constitution now this constitution. Who lives? Who levy war against the government of the Republic of Liberia or against a territorial division thereof in observed in minor one. Address to the enemy, therefore, giving them aid, comfort, or advice, or betray the government, that's a definition of, or betray the government or any division thereof into the power of the enemy, or act treacherously against or commit any breach of alliances to the government, or commit any act, avert or otherwise, tending to overthrow the authority of the government. Carry on private welfare by hiring missionaries or stirring up the tribe or stirring up. So, a good thing told me that because people that back up mafia then they would have been dead a long time before. Because stirring up, listen to this, stirring up one tribe in territory of this republic to attack another without a commission to do so based upon an act of legislature or not acting by order of the President of the Republic of Liberia. Invite any tribe to commit act of hostility against the government. Ambassador Farmer was charged under subsection D. The penalty for treason is death by hanging. If death ensues from the act of the offender, imprisonment for not more than 20 years if no death ensues from the act of the offender. We'll stop here for now. We'll stop here for now. You know, when you're doing these Liberian history, when you're doing the Liberian history, you can't get vessel. You can't personalize it. Because if you do, you will go crazy. You can't personalize it. Because the behavior of the Americo-Liberian towards the indigenous was so bad. Folks, I'm not doing the trial of Dr. Farmless, so I just want you guys to know that. So you can't personalize. You can't make it into a personal issue. If you do that, you will suffer yourself. Okay, so let's go on. So during the Tottenham era, right? During the Tottenham era as well. So the Liberian government, they used to collect taxes from the indigenous people themselves. So the people were paying $10 back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. People were paying $10. Okay, people were paying $10 for house taxes and things like that. So that those $10, can you imagine, from the interior? You know, the county then, most of the county then gained their county seat back in 1964. That would be Grand Gita and other counties. Okay, a few of them. So they collect taxes, and the taxes that is being collected goes to Monrovia. And usually one of the reasons No, I'm not an economist. I'm an engineer, but I got common sense. One of the reasons I believe you collect taxes is to serve, to use that money, since you have no means as a leader, you have no means to be able to generate fund for yourself. Okay, and so you have your citizenry who believe in you to pay taxes, and that tax money is used to provide services to the people who pay taxes. Walter Carter, good morning. Thank you for joining me, my brother. Okay, to pay taxes. But you crooks, the Americo-Liberian, like I said, these things, these subject matter, they are very sensitive. And I might be using some words that might not be comfortable for many people. But we have to say these things. And these are my words. You have the choice. You have your own. You can say whatever you want to say. You can disagree with me. But if somebody pay taxes, that person is not getting benefit back, then what do you call it? Crooks, corrupt behavior. And you heard, what's his name? Barclay there accusing Tubman of corruption. So it's not something that I'm making up. What I do remember, what I do remember, because I grew up in Town. Town was the county seat. I mean, it was the chieftain seat of BI chieftain. Big, big chieftain. They got clan, Cross-on clan, BI clan, and I don't know the other clan there. I forgot them. Okay? So these people, the country people, pay taxes to them. But nothing coming back. They purposely refuse to educate us, the indigenous. Even during Tubman era, for which he decided to assimilate, to allow the country people to assimilate into the Congo society or Americo-Liberian society. Which for me, okay. But what do they do? When I was growing up in Town, like I said, Town was a chieftain seat. So everything from the chieftain, it comes through Town. Koro, I see. So there were those who don't have money to pay the $10 half tax. They own a farm, making farm so they can sell or go hunting to sell and come up with the $10. And this is not unique for Town. Believe me, ain't people who grew up in the interior will know this story. So if you don't pay your $10, they bring you to Town. They say, "Where your money? I got the money right now." It's okay. They tie your hand behind your back. I said they say, I said something to say. They tie your hand. If I lie, my people, those of you that grew up in Total, you'll tell me. Those of you that all over Monterey, if I lie, you'll tell. All over Liberia that know this story, if I lie, you'll tell me. They tie your hand behind your back and make you kneel down. They put this, I call them sedimentary rocks, because sedimentary rocks, they got pointy edge. They got 3 here, 3 there, and you kneel down before you kneel. You put your knee on there, and you look into the sun. You bend your head, they slap you. And if you're strong, a warrior, it's okay. They got a 2 stick. They put your shin. Your shin is the one from the knee to your ankle. They put your shin on the thigh. And the thigh, you can hear the grown man crying for a man. Newe, Monjinwo, you come for me. Is there, there's no grown man here today. Grown man crying for $10. And on several occasions, my mom would take her money, our food money, and go pay the people $10. Because she just can't stand the crying. And there came a time that she made it her point to make sure that she have $10 saved anytime. Even up to the time she died here in Canton, Ohio. When you open her laptop, $10 always there. From the time it happened back in its whatever day, $10 never left that woman laptop tape. So when you're coming from Town going to Monrovia, there's a gate, several gates on the road. The gate, the one they call Groy Gate in Nima County, that one I remember where. When you get to that gate, when you come from Total and you get to the gate around about, because usually by the time you get on the road, it's around, in Total, it's around about maybe 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So by the time you get to Groy, it's almost 6, 7 o'clock. Everybody come down, you come down, you come down. That the Liberian military now. I said, come down, come down. You come down, come down. Hey, mama, come down, come down. You, hey, get down. They're not putting you down because you're foreigner. Oh. They're not putting you down because they're going to ask you for immigration paper. No. They're not putting you down because of security reason. No. Where your hat at? Where your hat at? Oh, yeah, okay, sit down on that side. They go around. Everyone that have the hot tire, you sit down there. You get hot tire, you're not driving, you're not going anywhere. You sit down and grow it. So the one get hot tire will leave them behind. They will get on the road. You will be driving in the dust until you get to President Tubman Farm. That the only place they got quota. Listen, no, that's how wicked these people were. You have money to get quota from all the way from the executive mansion all the way to your farm. Tubman Farm in Bon County. Many of you are driving and some people go there and make fun of it. Oh, that Tubman Farm. But it was some beautiful, beautiful place those days. They got the wildlife. He got elephant. He got all the kind of Tubman Farm. When you get there, that's little boy. We get there, they put us down. We go look at the animal there. They won't get by. So usually when we go in, my mom will put in a leaf, banana leaf. She'll put some rice and meat on it. That when we go to Tubman Farm, you will eat it. So the how I know the Tubman Farm because I know once we get in Tubman Farm, I'm eating. There's no two-way street about it. We go all over from Grand there. We reach Tubman Farm here. No, we reach there. Where you go? No, man. We reach Tubman Farm here. No, we reach there yet. We reach Tubman Farm. No, we reach there yet. When we get to Tubman Farm, I know I'm eating. But at the only place they have the quota staff. The entire time Tubman in power. The quota staff only in Tubman Farm in Bon County. I believe it's Swakoko or something like that. I believe. I don't know whether it's Swakoko. I think if I get the name of it, but I know it's Tubman Farm. From there, you'll get on the quota now. All of the taxes and the borrowing the Tubman was doing was to build asphalt quota road from Monroe all the way to the farm because he want to get dust on him. But the rest of the citizens living in Nima County, living in Grand Gide, living in River G, living in Maryland, living in Sino that travel that route. It ain't matter to him. It can be dusty. Who cares? Who are we? Why do we treat each other like that? For what reason? And there are those who praise Tubman. Let's go to the educational factor. There's a guy used to, and like I said, the people from Grand Cape County, they're very smart people. There was a guy who used to go around Liberia building schoolhouses for the government Republic of Liberia. They call him Massaquoi. A.G. Massaquoi. I used to stay with his daughter in Staunton Creek. So I know him very well. But what do? They come to Total and build elementary school. Total achieved them. You got Croissant, you got Croissant now, that Sennyway, that Dwidgetown, that Tiantown, that BI Joson, that BI Tawe, that Chiga, that Babdi, that Plo, that some part of Bo, 9 to 10 big clan town, big towns. The only elementary school in that whole section It's in total. You got young people traveling. They leave their homes around 3 a.m. so they will make the 8 o'clock time for school in total. This is the government that we have. No junior high school. If you finish, God help you, you finish with total, maybe you go to Zlatan junior high. Then from Zlatan, when you finish, then you go to Zvedru high school. But in Monrovia, in fact, they don't even walk. Most of them, their parents take them to school, take car. Why you expect that you are going to live like that for life? The way you treated other Liberians, and you expect to live like that for life, and you expect not to be overthrown violently. Where in the world? Where in the world? Go to Monrovia. You have all the elementary schools. You have all the high schools in one city. When they finish with elementary, they go to junior high. From junior high, they go to high school. They don't have to go anywhere else. But we, on the other hand, you from Town, you go to high school in Zwadru. Where the fool coming from? Your mom and pa live in Town. They're going to farm. They're on a farm. Where the food coming from when you come from school to eat? And you don't have food in your stomach, how you going to study? Who house you even going to stay in to go to school? What kind of wickedness was that? And you expect to sit down and continue to enjoy your life. And you got upset. You get angry because they remove you violently. There were other people who were just angry. Because most of the people that participated in the coup from the countryside, they saw what was happening to their own people. And even in Monrovia, what did you do? You packed the uneducated people in the barracks because the army section is for people who not know book that the government own an area to work. If you're from the countryside, you don't know book, they call you Noko. They put you in the army. Army is free for you. But in the meantime, there's also rumors in Liberia that you go take LU test and you pass, and your name is Koli or Yabaro. They remove your name and put Johnson on there. And use the grades for Johnson to go to school. The crook behavior. Totman era. Totman era went after the educated indigenous. If you know both, you're from the countryside, they say, oh, you're trying to overthrow us because they're scared. Of course, they're afraid of their own shadow. God, they're afraid of their own shadow because of their wicked behavior. They refuse to educate people. So what they do, in order for you to be educated as a country person, you come from the interior, you go to their chamber, you throw water in the morning, fill the drums. And then when you finish filling the drum, you wash their clothes, you clean the house. They're just like a slave. Just so that you can go to school. Then what do? So, okay, let's go ahead and open afternoon school. And the afternoon school was simply for those who were working as slaves, young Liberians who were working as slaves, so they can go to school. And the thing about it, these people, the Americo-Liberians, they were just amazing. They were so ridiculous. For some reason, they believe that you would treat somebody like that and send them to, and then they go and educate themselves in Monrovia, and you expect them to kowtow to you. That's what we have those days. That's what we have those days. Some of us went through that. Throw timber away, wash clothes, wash floor, just so we can go to school. And the thing about it too is, sometimes we thought so. Some of us, specifically people like me, all that suffering I went through, when I had the opportunity to go to college, I said, I want to go to college. I'm going to college for I can't waste my time with college. I want money. I want yo. Wow. I want to play football. And I'm not alone. There are many young Liberians from the countryside. And that's why I have high respect from the brothers and sisters from Cape Mount, from Lofa. Their education basically they don't play. The people say at Liberia they have the saying, "Oh, Lofa children, Cape Mount people they got book medicine." They knows nothing about book medicine. It's called studying. Study. You study repeatedly, you will learn it, you will know it. But you come from EJ Raw on a weekday, you're drunk like fish, like Samson told, drunk like fish, and you expect to pass your test the next day. The Lofa County young men, young women, they put their feet in the bucket and study all night. I know so because I grew up with some of them in the barracks. And we used to laugh at them. Oh, yeah, you come here, that Kasaya come here. Some of these young people today, and then you they want to throw a little politics into this. I will throw small politics into the one. I will throw small politics into this one, my people. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 times put politics. I'll throw one politics into it. We complain that this government is local government. When the children was studying, where were you? Something too. When the local children was studying hard to get to make the grades, where were you? You were in EJ Raw. When they were suffering, when their man then were sending them to LU, where were you? You were at EJ Raw. Wearing bare bottom polyester pants with platform shoes, walking the street of Monrovia, you think you are the king. You know nothing. They know the book. That's why they employed them. So it's not because they most of the people that you say, oh, that look at me, working the other person from find out from their educational background. Tell me if they don't know book. All of the local children they all complain about. Tell me any children they don't know book. All of the local children that are working in this government. Tell me, are they not educated? Do they not have a master's degree? How do you think they got the education? Man, let me hear my ear, man. But let me go back to this here. I just throw that in there. Let me go back. So we cannot and we must not forget these things. I will come to that. The issue for me, the Tubman era, yeah, that was you can say he has a open door policy. He was a similar allowing like other citizens, the interior people to but no house taxes that were being paid. They were not giving us high school. They were not giving us junior high. Why will you allow these children? And now that they don't know, Tubman used to travel on road to Maryland sometime. My man tell you, why I come and play football and go to school for? I'm gonna waste my time. I want to play with somebody my then why I'm gonna go to school. The school will waste my time. If I not play good football, I will not play with somebody my I beg you, man, I can't waste my time anymore. You can play football and go to school, but for me, the point that I'm making is these low-fat children, specifically people from Cape Mount, they study. Not that they can't play football. Look at Gray. Look at Mama Musa, master degree, and they're still the best football player that Liberia ever had. Agre told me that when he was playing football, he was studying at the same time. But then we all got brain like that, yeah. I got a kind of brain. I only got brain to use one at a time. Either I play football or I go to school. So But people like Mama Musa, they have the ability to be best football player, and they also educate themselves, give them the best opportunity for themselves. People that are great there, they play football, but at the same time educated themselves well. Now everybody have that to play football. That's not a small team. So, but that's the point that I'm making. But let me get back. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for bringing that up. But let me just say this. Let me just say this. So those days, why were they not able hmm, to take money? You yet taught me he's had a video. I spent $1 million building the executive mansion. I spent another $1 million building the Capitol building. Okay, good for you, Totman. You did well. I spent $1 million putting the top. I put in the Temple Justice up. And these people want to accuse me of. Yes, thank you. But what did you really do for us? Why were you not able to put elementary school, junior high, and what have you in those areas? Each of the towns should have an elementary school. They have another thing he did, which was good. He have what they call KRT. I think it calls Zozo Training Institute, where they send young high school graduate to go and teach them how to become a teacher. And I benefited for some of them, you know. But it's not enough. The amount of money you people are getting from the interior, it's not enough. Look at Lamco. I grew up in Bapa. If you don't know this, I grew up in Bapa. My father was a diamond digger, so I grew up in Bapa. We used to walk from Bapa City all the way to Grassfield for another. Not that they don't have elementary school in Bapa, though they do, but it was full. So those of us that came late, we had to go all the way to Grassfield. You should have been able to follow children where the population, they put a high school, put a junior high, and what have you. So let's go back to Monrovia. Where do they look at? Let me tell you this is true story now. If you're not real, if you're not a country man, want to be Congo man, you are not understanding. But some of us were country people, wanted to be Congo people, so we understand. I understand that. But in Monrovia, the high school, elementary, you go to GW. First elementary, you go to those of us that are from the barracks. You go to the prison elementary, the Central Prison Elementary. It's a elementary school right by the prison called it Central Prison Elementary. You go there, and if you're able to go to GW, you go to GW. From there, where do you go as a country person? If you are blessed, maybe you go to St. Patrick, but St. Patrick is not for you. If you are blessed as a lady, maybe you go to convent, but convent not for you. You're not part of them. You might be able to go to BWR, but BWR is not for you. You're not part of them. Criteria not for you. You're not part of them. From your countrymen, from the countryside, you go to one of the elementary school from the barracks. From there, you go to junior high, Montana Junior High, Montana Newport Street Junior High. That's also country people. When you go there, you see the name Koli, Kabakalawa, Sagamura Lula. You will not find Johnson, Davis, Tower. They don't go to those places. Why would Tower want to go to GW? For what reason? What do they have there? Then from there, what do you go? Taught me high. Taught me high. Before you will be, if you're lucky to go to university, LU, to go to Cardinal University, yes, but it was a privilege. It was hard. Not that you're not smart to get it, but the people made it so difficult for people to get into the universities. To come to the U.S., you might have to spend 1 or 2 calls, your parent, to get visa to come. I worked for the Ministry of Education, Research and Development. I ran after Dr. Kotu, Joseph Kotu. He's dead now. The first time he came to the United States on a scholarship, he came with Sumper, Theophilus Sumper. Samson too took that paper for their scholarship for their how do you call it scholarship. Took it to the Minister of Education, Minister of Finance to get the money. Ran back and forth. I did it every more than 2-3 weeks. And as my mom would say, when we gave you paper to carry, you must read it. I was reading them. And they keep drilling the pew. Y'all go come. Y'all go come. In the meantime, what I do know, they set the group of people that was set to go to come to America on that scholarship. All of the Johnson, all of the Amos, all of the the Americo-Liberian that was on our scene list, they all came. And the whole country people continue to go come, go come, go come. Now, I don't know why, but that's what we have. And then they have the audacity to say, why would we been good to these people? Why did they come and violently remove us? Because first of all, you don't have one man, one vote. And I'm saying waging now to the progressive. Two party refuse to give one man, one vote. Because they knew very well that if they do one man, one vote, they will not stay in power for more than 2 weeks. We'll kick them out. But you close that system. The system of one man, one vote. You close it. You don't want to participate in that. No debate. No press conferences to say, oh, the person running here and there. I remember, okay, let me leave that one there. 1970, I believe, or 76. How the another brother, what's his name? Albert White then became senator of Grand Union County. I attended that meeting. I was there at the EJ Rob building that night. Look, one of the things when I was working for this lady, my mom, one of the things she did for me, in as much as I was heavily resisting going to school, she said, you have to understand what's happening in this country. And she opened my eyes. Okay. So anyhow, we'll come back to that. But two-way party and the ruling establishment closed the door on one man, one vote. What other choice you want the indigenous? How do you want the indigenous to come to be able to have the opportunity to rule their own country? You want to be in power for life? There's a belief. Those days when we were growing up, they said behind the president's chair, they have that, don't forget the pioneer children. Well, not there. Because immediately after the coup, I asked my little brother to take me there because I wanted to see it. He told me that I saw behind the chair, nothing written behind that chair. Unless a different chair to put it, but nothing written behind that chair. And he said nothing, just a chair. But this is how the kind of belief you people made us to have about you. When you go to the countryside, you don't want to walk in the mud. You want the country people to carry you in the hammocks. And you expect the people to just sit down and do nothing and just kowtow to you. From 1847, we probably just yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. We got nothing to give. And you sit here and complain and wonder why. It's a violent overthrow. I don't support that kind of behavior either because people die. And I'm one person, people say, I'm scared. I say, okay, I'm scared. Because I don't want anybody to die. If you're going to die, let God carry you. But no man, no matter whether my brother, my sister, it doesn't matter. You have no right to take the life of any other person. I don't support that. But what other way? Tell me. Just tell me. Think about it. Those of you that are the miracle descendant, and I'm not saying this here as mean of trying to stir it up. I'd say it's a history. These things are written. So what I say or not, they're in the book. So what I say or not, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change your behavior, the way you acted towards us. It didn't change nothing. It's still there. I'm just saying it. Thank you, my girl. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're about wrapping up now, anyway. Okay. So the point here is, and I'm going to go, like I said, these subject matter are very sensitive. They are not something that you can rush into easily. I give you this, my little brother. I went home after I now messed up myself. I went home 1981, was sitting on Sunday morning on the table eating breakfast when they came and collected him from between my legs and killed him. And nothing that I could do. Nothing. And this is a young man I remember when we used to go to Ivory Coast. When we used to go to Ivory Coast, to my grandma's town. So there was all the Liberian children, so they lined up the Ivorian kids. 10, 15, 20 of them lined up. And my brother and myself, one other lazy one in Minnesota, I will not call him because he's still alive. Feeling lazy, got big mouth, but you were not for it. I didn't want to fight for you. So we line up, 3 of us. So it was okay. The Ivorian want to challenge her. And the people, these are our own question, my own question, but they're a little bit older than us. So they say, okay, the Ivorian want to challenge her. And your Liberian children, and you say, you know how to fight your guy people. So I'm saying, then I will send my brother, I say, you see that brother, go pick a hair up. So my little brother will go and pull the hair, bring it to me. In the process, they were slapping one, boom, and whoever slapped my brother, you get me. And they'll go and flog people. And I sat there on the dinner table, on the dining room table, and they came and collected my brother. And there's nothing I could do. And they killed him. And nothing I could do. And that turned me into zombie for years. For years. Because the fact that I couldn't do anything. But here's the issue here. With me, not that die, you die one time, that's it. You don't die, you come back and die again. But the issue for me was, what do? I have my mom, my father, and I have all my siblings. If I start something, what happened to them? And he told me before he left the table, he said, I know exactly what Doe is doing. But if anything, I don't want you to do anything stupid. Take care of the family. Before he left. Like I said, these things are very, very touchy subject. Very, very touchy subject, but they must be discussed. Because that's about the only way some of us will be able to understand these things. Why was he at 16, 17-year old to join a group of military people to violently overthrow a government? Why? Why? Join me next week and we'll bring the subject matter up. They're very sensitive. The 13 men that were killed on the pole, they got family. One of them, their son, C. Cesar Jr., was here with me in Sacramento. We became friends later. But what happened? What happened? They got family. You think their family going to forget those things? No. How did we get there? Why was it necessary? And people come here on the platform and say, "Oh, CIA was never for that." I know, I know, I know. CIA was never involved. It's all Liberians. But what was the reason, though? Was it stricter because of corruption? Join me next week and we'll have that discussion. Let me see if I want to open. Maybe Walter Carter will want to call in. Walter Carter, let me open the line. I will just open the line. Those of you that want to call, fine. If not, we'll just close and get out of here. Like I said, these things are very highly sensitive issue. My number there, 916-533-2048. Give us a call if you want to contribute, if you have any question or whatever. But let's move on. The 5-10 minutes I have here, let me move on. So we're still in Tubman era. So Tubman, those days when he decided, and I'll go through with the trying of who took it out? What happened? Oh my goodness. Okay. Give us a call, 916-533-2048 if you want to participate. But if you think the subject matter is too heavy for you, you can't handle it, don't call me. uh, yeah, my brother. But we have to talk about this. You know, we're not going to shy from it. We're not going to shy from it. You know, I'm at the age now. All of my brother kids are all grown. The other one have 4 kids of his own, doing well. The other one have 3 kids of his own. The other one, the girl, I think the girl has 6 or 7 kids of her own. So they're all here. They're doing good. We thank God. So I'm not, but these are things. These are Liberian history, and like I said, my brother did not put himself through this thing. I know of the fact he did not put himself through this thing, knowing fully well he knew exactly what we all knew when he was getting into. We have that discussion. We knew it wasn't going. There was no possibility that it was going to end peacefully. I knew that. We knew. We all knew that from get go. We knew. So we accepted it that there's a 90% chance that he's not going to survive. We knew that. But the issue was, okay, if we don't do it, when? If not now, when? If we don't do it, who? So, like I said, the brothers and sisters from the other side, they keep saying, was it necessary? Was the violence necessary? No, I don't think so either. But you closed the door. You purposely closed the door that would have allowed the indigenous to peacefully. Okay, let me see who's calling. Okay. Hello, Samson to Labro Pabrito. Thank you for joining us. What's on your mind? What do you want to contribute to this conversation?
Oh yeah, I don't know what time it is. I'm calling from Liberia. I just wanted to contribute a little bit. This is Dr. Eddington, Mike Judy.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I want to say, first of all, sorry for your loss. Coming up, we saw stories, we saw pictures of your little brother. He was so young, and as a crime man, and looking back, we heard so many stories, that they were in the wrong, and people threw all kind of stories around, but we didn't know what to believe until we got older, and some people that were closer to the regime was able to tell some stuff, But I still don't believe somebody. I just hope we can get the true account of what really transpired, about the late nursing tool and Thomas was saying. And like you were saying, I just joined the show lately, and like I said, I was in Liberia. I heard you saying so that they came between you and kind of snatch your brother from between your legs. So I'm hoping that one day we can get a true account of what happened. Like you said, these are sensitive stories, and we need to talk about these things. Some things are harder to talk about, but it's good. And as a practitioner, as a medical practitioner, I believe that whenever you discuss some of this kind of therapeutic and it's healing. So we need to discuss this thing, and I'm hoping one day that we'll get a true account. But one account that I got was that Mr. Nelson too was a little bit kind of how do I say it, in the Liberians way frisky, a little bit hostile. There was a story that said when Tobo, because William R. Tobo was supposed to go to Zimbabwe to celebrate the inauguration of then President Robert Mugabe, but when he died, Samadou and a few other men went for that trip. And while they were on the way to that trip, coming back, we're saying when it sat in the seat of Tobo. I mean, it sat in the seat of what Doe was supposed to be sitting. And when Doe was supposed to sit down, for some reason, he wouldn't get out of the chair. And he said he wasn't getting out of the chair, so Doe said, "You're leaving." And I believe at the time, maybe that where the division came from. So, no, the labor is getting frisky. And maybe they were in cahoots to get rid of him because at the time, he joined with, I call it, was sent from Sino. And I mean, that goes to story. So I'm hoping one day, so we can get a true account. That's what I want to say. I want to say sorry. I've been seeing you all around our organization, the GGA and stuff like that, but I haven't had the time and the guts to kind of talk to you about it. So hopefully we'll meet one of these days and we can sit down and talk about it because it is very important. I also believe that this story has brought some division within Grenzy there, especially for the people. I believe this is just my view. I believe this event have led to the sample people kind of distancing themselves when it says crime or when it comes to crime activity. I believe this issue has already brought about the distancing of most of these sample people from when generally when it says crime or when we are together. I just really believe that the devil these two brought some a little distance within or division in our county. That's just my view, though. And like I said, hopefully we will sit down one day and have a genuine discussion. What actually transpired. That's my info. And have a wonderful day. I'm here in Liberia. I will be coming back soon, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you, Doc. We appreciate it, and congratulations. You've been one of those young Liberians that I've always talked about when I say a young Liberian came here, educated himself. Usually, I don't call you guys' name, but you're one of those that is on the list of those young Liberians who labor hard to educate themselves. They didn't have a dime when they came here, but they felt that education is the only way out. And look at you today. When I say look at the kind of houses they have, look at the kind of car they drive, look at the way they dress. Specifically, when I say dressing, it is you that I have in mind. So, so thank you,
thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby. All right, thank you, Doc. All right. As a young man, Bobby truly. So, but this he's another example. When I come on my show and say young Liberians are educated and sophisticated, he's one of those. From way interior educated himself. Now he's a medical doctor. So, we can say congratulations to him. But as far as the actual death, the process of my brother and the rest of the people, all of those things will be discussed on the show. We just pray for long life. They will all be discussed on the show. I'm not going to hide anything. What I do know, I will talk about it. What I do know, I will talk about it. And I have some people, because, for example, 2006, I wrote a piece, and Front Page Africa carried that piece for me. And there were other people from our own tribe as well my piece didn't sit well with them, and they decided to respond negatively. And in the process of responding negatively, they provided some more information to back up what I was arguing about. But we'll discuss it. See, I got all those papers. We'll discuss this thing. We'll discuss it. But today, I'm just saying. But thank you, Bobby, for calling. Thanks those of you. I know this issue is not something we can sneeze at. This is not your regular political conversation. And from time to time, I will throw politics in there because I'm a political guru. But on a very serious note, these things are very serious. There was this young man, Deacon Carter, when he highly educated as well, but he was heavily involved with the progressive. What the question that I keep, and I will continue to ask this question, but I know some of the answer. Why were these young people didn't sell out, as you would call it today, because they were educated. They could have gone with two-way party, served on two-way party, whatever party chair position, and they would have gotten good jobs. But they sacrifice their good living way of life for many of us to enjoy life today. 2029 coming. If I have money, I want to run to be president. Not because I'm from Tota. I will put my name in there and I will be accepted. One man, one vote. This was what two-way party were preventing. Because they knew very well. And I read some stuff. I will reread that again. I will go back again and read it. Two-way party made it clear that the government position must be used to extract loyalty from the indigenous. If they want, because if we employ them, two-way party employ them in government position, they have no other choice but to be loyal to our cause, which is to vote against their own interest. That was their cost. That was their cost. So the question is, what other choice that the indigenous Liberians have to take power? They were in majority. If you open it up, one man, one vote, you stand no chance. But you won't do it. You refuse to have one man, one vote. And this is where the progressive came in. They said, we'll get it. We will educate our people. And when you resist it, those young people, many of them, I'll give you an example. Nelson told that we just Bobby just talked about the good doctor just talked about. A week before the coup, he was in Totan with his buddy. We're calling Durubar. Siade, his name is Siade, Jerry's son. But we're calling Durubar because he wear his pants way up here. You know, if you watch Durubar, if you watch Cleopatra, you will find Durubar in there. We're calling Durubar. But him and Nelson, they're like this, two brothers. So they were in Liberia. They went on vacation. Durubar was not in the army, Nelson was in the army. So they went on vacation a week before the coup. And when they were coming by, they went to Ivory Coast in our grandma town. They came by and they stopped in Tota. There's a guy, and this I will call his name. It doesn't mean to disparage him because he have family, he got kids, and the kids, some of the kids, one of his son is my cousin, because the man had a son by my sister, my uncle's daughter or auntie daughter, so he's my first cousin. Okay, so that's how we read it. But this guy called Charlie Juan in Totan. Very, very intelligent guy. He used to be the chief clerk of the chiefdom. This guy can type without looking. You know those days the typewriter they have when you go blue. When it finish, then you go and you take it back to start. But he could type. Very good clerk. So, but he was very much involved with two-way party. Two-way party was their life. And he was not going to man, but he was not about for anybody to talk bad about two-way party. So the story was Nelson and Durubar was in Totan. So there was a conversation on the tree. The tree when I go to Totan against Lee City on it. There's a conversation, Nelson that was standing there. And you know, at that time politics in Liberia was hot. It was a conversation. So Charlie John got up and said, according to the story, that he young grown-up boy that part and the progressive now. The young grown-up boy, then they don't know what they're looking for, and they're hungry. They can't ask Tubber to feed them. Then they want to start trouble. So Nelson heard it, and this guy and Nelson got into it. Serious argument. That it was about turn to blow. but he's older than Nelson. Older than Nelson. So, but it's not that you're going to beat him anyway. But you can't put your hand on older person. So they had to send for my dad, who was on the other side of the town. He came and stopped it. Doodle boy said, "Let's beat him up. He ain't got no business talking to us like that." But the argument Nelson was making a week before the coup to that guy was that you, Charlie Juan, you sit in this town here and the people collect taxes. In fact, you're one of those that send messenger to the villages to collect somebody and bring them here and put them under that flagpole and set them under the sun if the person don't have the money. If the money coming back here, how did this guy who was just a sixth grade student know these things? The progressive. The progressive have educated every one of us. But Charlie John couldn't answer that. All he could say that I don't my business. The government what they're doing good. In the meantime, no lying total. The quota stopped in Tubman Farm. Bento them they got quota. Another thing I want to say here very quickly, since we're on the Nelson Toll business. Nelson Toll joined the army back in 1976. Okay, very little. They rejected him so many times because you're too small. You're just too small to be in the army. And as God could have one of the general that were there, he said, "But the man want to defend the country, you're putting him in there. As long as you're able to do the work, you're putting him in there." So when they got him in the army, when he came to Monrovia, they assigned him. They assigned him in Tony. And guess who was running the show in Tony? His own first cousin. Steady. His first cousin Steady was running the show over. So Steady said, "Man, you're too small. I will not put you because they will not have no respect for you. You can't be hanging around us like that." so, so So, but he got vexed. Every time that was one of the reasons why he and Doe got the confusion on the plane. Every time they small because he was too small. Every time they bring that, oh, you get vexed. He say I'm small, but I carry arm. I carry arm. You gotta respect me. He's demanding respect. But anyway, so what they did, they sent him to Benton to be one of the guard because he was just too small to be hanging with the army people on base. You can't, the uniform, all the pants then they're dragging. No boots could fit him. Most of the boots they have, they're too big. So they had to get some special order and things like that. Even the gun said way when you put the gun way sticking way up. So instead of say I can't put first cousin, we call him uncle anyway. Uncle said, "I can't put you in the POT. I don't know why the people are allowed for you to be in the army. You're not ready. You're too small." So they're saying to Benta. So when he was in Benta, according to the story, Tubba came on vacation in Benta and saw this young man dressed in uniform. So he asked his people, "Who's that small boy wearing uniform?" They said, "Oh, the army man." And at that time, he was the youngest member of the Liberian army at the time. He joined when he was like 15, 16 years old. But that's exactly what he wanted to do. Nothing else. He didn't want to go to school. He didn't want to do farm work. He wanted to be in the army. So anyway, Toba, they sent for him, he said. So Toba asked him, "Why are you not in school? What are you doing in the army?" He told him, "This is what I want to do. I want to be in the army." "Why would you not go to school?" He said, "Well, the army, it gave you opportunity to do instead of anything, you go to other county, you go other places, and you do the work for the army." So his explanation to Toba at the time sounded reasonable. So according to him, Toba left that conversation. That was the first encounter with Toba. And the other encounter with Toba was a deadly one that happened at the executive mansion on April 12th. We'll discuss those things Join me next week, and we'll have a conversation. Like I said, these are not conversations that you can take for granted. They're very, very, very difficult for some of us, but we'll discuss it. Samson told the Brother, I want to thank all of you again this morning. Let's continue to pray for one another. We'll say good day and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye-bye.